on Canada. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Andrew Ward. The pause coming after a last-minute deal between both sides. The delay on sweeping 50% tariffs on Canadian goods will be there for 3 days. Now, the stock market reacting this morning. Here's a live look at Wall Street right now. You can see they're up about 140 points here so far, but ABC's Olivia Rubin with the details, including how Canada is responding and what products could be affected if these tariffs do indeed go into effect.
Today, President Trump's new tariffs against Canadian goods on pause for 3 days. Trump announcing the last-minute delay less than 2 hours before the 50% tariffs hitting goods including steel, cheese, wine, and cars were set to go into effect, citing a deal with Canada. Trump giving no specifics about the deal, but suggested in a social media post it could include a renewed effort to build the Keystone Pipeline. That's an oil pipeline running from Canada to Texas, canceled in 2021 amid criticism over environmental concerns. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney posting on social media saying, quote, substantial progress has been made with the U.S. during discussions, but saying, quote, there is important work still to be done. Meanwhile, Americans are paying more for the president's tariffs, which he is trying to recreate, this time with a never-before-used Depression-era tool that will likely see legal challenges. The administration using an assortment of tactics on dozens of countries after the Supreme Court struck down his global emergency power tariffs earlier this year, ruling they were illegal.
I have the right to do tariffs, and I've always had the right to do tariffs.
They're now costing the typical American household $1,075 per year, according to the Yale Budget Lab. And Trump is adamant that the tariffs are necessary to fix trade deficits and bring more manufacturing back to the U.S. But so far, the U.S. has lost tens of thousands of manufacturing jobs. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Now to the potential for severe weather across a good chunk of eastern Nebraska. You're taking a live look now at our Owl Communications here this morning. You couldn't really tell that we have the threat of storms here. If you take a look at this, it's blue skies, and really temperatures aren't too bad out there right now. Let's get to meteorologist Dominic Ferraro. Those guys check that timeline for us. Good morning, Dominic.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Yeah, as you mentioned, we're already monitoring several strong to potentially severe storms, especially here in north central and northeastern Nebraska. These are now making their way then to the south and east as we head throughout the rest of your Wednesday afternoon. In fact, we do have one severe thunderstorm warning to make you aware of here. This for Greeley, western Nance County, eastern Valley County, northwestern Merrick, and northeastern Howard County here in north central Nebraska, as this is in place then until 11:45 this morning for a 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts and half-dollar-sized hail, as this storm then continues to move then to the south and east at 40 miles per hour. So it's picked up a little bit of steam here, now working its way then closer to Walbach there and in portions here of central Nebraska. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch then in place until 4 o'clock this afternoon. That does include us here in the capital city, the Columbus area as well, right on the edge there for Grand Island. Quick look outside here in Utica. Tower camera there looking off to the north and kind of catching the very southern edge of that system. But for the rest of the day here in Lincoln, the upper 70s, and that's probably about where we'll stay. Once those showers move on through, we'll probably lose a few degrees throughout the afternoon as well. Should be wrapped up though by about dinner time, so any Wednesday evening plans should be still on the table. Then we'll have more details on the severe weather potential over the coming days here in a few minutes.
Very much, Dominic. Happening tonight, Aurora is making a big change to their emergency services. EMS Unlimited, a private company, is joining the local fire department this week after months of tough discussions within the community. The city ultimately deciding to move away from public to private service, and is necessary with budget constraints. Tonight, Aurora Chamber of Commerce is holding an open house to meet with people in the area and answer any questions or concerns the community may still have. EMS Unlimited says it's a veteran-owned emergency medical services company headquartered in Colorado with operations throughout the country. The open house is at 4:30 at the Aurora station off of 14th Street. Developing a historical home is being moved to a new site so a hospital can expand. The Bryant East campus is growing, but to make room, a historic building once home to nursing students is being moved. Two retired nurses speaking with our Daniel Da Silva from their retirement home about keeping their memories in place.
Well, it's Bryan. It belongs there. It's been there for years and years and years. Without that house, we wouldn't have our hospital. It should stay with where it was. I understand why a hospital would want to move this, because it's totally probably in their way if they're going to expand their emergency room. But it kind of hurt just a little bit just to read about it in the paper.
Virginia Von Segren and Joyce Lemaster lived in the Fairview home in the late 1950s, early 1960s, while completing their nursing degrees. Bryan Health says the home was donated by William Jennings Bryan, a politician and businessman who actually ran for president 3 times. The home and surrounding area later became the start of Bryan Memorial Hospital, and the home served as a nurse's dorm, now called the Fairview House. Earlier this year, hospital leaders appeared before the Lincoln Historic Preservation Commission to have the home moved to 56th and A. Submitting this statement to Channel 8, a spokesperson for the hospital said plans to move the Fairview home are moving forward as anticipated, adding, "We look forward to sharing more information in the coming weeks and months." Both Virginia and Joyce leaving a final message to those in charge before the home, declared a National Historic Landmark in 1963, is actually moved.
Despite a break in our hearts, it's going to happen. As long as the house remains the way it is now.
I would love to see it remain the way it is now. It would be nice to have a nice open house open to the public about just exactly what kind of a home this is.
Yes.
Danielle De Silva for Channel 8 News.
Happening today, the mayor of Lincoln is looking to expand housing access once again. Today, she is set to propose a new move to add more housing in the capital city. She's holding a news conference actually right now to announce the conversion of the former Veterans Hospital near 70th and O Streets into affordable housing. This has been a goal of hers since she was elected into office. Since 2019, she supported more than 3,200 new or rehabilitated units, and her goal is 5,000 by 2030. Today's news conference is underway. We'll hear from her about this new initiative tonight at 5. New developments. Governor Jim Pillen is announcing Nebraska's new data center task force. 17 members you see here are appointed to the new units authorized by Pillen's executive order that aims to evaluate the impacts of data centers on Nebraska's water resources and local infrastructure. This comes as dozens of communities in the state are protesting the construction of them. We've followed several just in the last couple of months, including Lincoln, Hallam, and Beatrice. The task force will work to not only evaluate the impacts, but also ensure that county officials have the necessary tools to manage data center growth effectively. Their first meeting is set for next month. Only on 8, a trip to the playground taking a frightening turn. Take a look at this. One Lincoln father taking his 2-year-old son to neighbors park near 30th and D when his son picked up this pipe full of what they think are drugs. What followed was an immediate rush of shock. Channel 8's Emma Norwood speaking with the dad who didn't want to go on camera about this alarming experience.
For one dad, it was supposed to be a normal day at this playground with his 2-year-old son. But in an instant, everything changed.
It was super surprising because the last thing you'd expect is for your 2-year-old to hand you drug paraphernalia.
Jeremy Williams was guiding his son up these steps before helping him get up to this platform and ride the slide. That's when his son grabbed this pipe, allegedly full of drugs, and handed it to his father.
I was shocked, to say the least. I looked down at my wife and I said, "Babe, look what Bram just handed me." And she was shocked. All she goes, "Are you serious? Was it just sitting up there?"
This corner here is exactly where the pipe was found, and the trash can at the park, you can see, is only a couple of yards away. Williams immediately taking it from his son and throwing it in the garbage.
He's 2 years old, so usually everything goes in their mouth instantly. It could have been a whole different situation if he stuck it in his mouth or something like that. Then it would have been, ER visit and figure out what's in it, and thousands of dollars spent on an ER visit. And, it was just, it was a wild occurrence, very unexpected, that's for sure.
Williams says they are definitely going to be more cautious when it comes to taking a trip to the park, and they hope other parents are more aware as well.
I'm just happy that it turned out the way that it did and didn't have to take him anywhere, no doctors, no nothing like that. And I just threw it away and we continue playing at the park.
We reached out to Lincoln Parks and Recreation to see how often these parks are maintained and what they do when something like this happens. They sent along this statement saying in part, quote, "Lincoln Parks and Recreation's park operations crews visit all parks on a regular schedule, some every day and others several times a week. And our crews take reports of hazardous or inappropriate materials seriously and will investigate and address them as quickly as possible. Reporting in Lincoln, Emma Norwood, Channel 8 News.
Now to that breaking news from overnight. A Legion baseball team from right here in Lincoln is world champions. You can bet the celebration is on today. What a comeback and what a victory. Carpet Land, made up of mostly players from Lincoln East High School, raising that championship trophy overnight after a win over a team from Oregon. It's the first ever American Legion championship for a team from Lincoln and just the second all time for a Nebraska team. The last one came in 1939. Carpet Land trailed 6-1 in the third, but a pair of 3-run home runs sparked the comeback and eventually the win. Brody McIntyre named Legion Baseball Player of the Year. We are working to find out when the team arrives home, and we'll let you know if they plan on any celebration on air and on our Now Local News app. Coming up after the break, a vaccine for cancer, the drug promising encouraging outcomes for people battling the deadliest form of skin cancer.
Summer.
Out against the new executive order regarding children vaccines. The Nebraska chapter of American College of Physicians and the Nebraska chapter of American Academy of Pediatrics, along with many other organizations, are coming out against the president, his administration issuing an executive order that would reduce the number of recommended childhood vaccines. The group from Nebraska is saying the order's directives are unsupported by data and lack of scientific quality, and that it disregards the evidence-based processes that have guided vaccine recommendations for decades. New at midday, a new cancer vaccine is now giving hope to those living with melanoma. It's the deadliest type of skin cancer. The vaccine is still undergoing trials. ABC's Yori Benejad explains how it works.
Pharmaceutical companies Moderna and Merck announcing that their new mRNA vaccine showed promising results. The vaccine is personalized to each patient and built from a patient's own tumor. It uses the same technology as COVID vaccines. The shot works to teach the immune system to recognize the unique genetic fingerprint of the cancer. Merck and Moderna say when paired with an existing immunotherapy, the shot helped reduce the risk of cancer returning or spreading further. The companies still need to publish their full clinical trial results, including whether the shot helps patients live longer. While there are other cancer vaccines already approved by the FDA, experts say that this new vaccine represents a step forward in the field. It remains unclear when the companies may apply for the shot to be FDA approved, but this is certainly hopeful news for the 1.5 million Americans living with melanoma. Yuri Benejad, ABC News, New York.
And isolated severe storms are possible here for the rest of our Wednesday afternoon, with additional chances for strong to severe storms in the coming days. I'll have more details in your full forecast coming up after the break.
What is Spectrum Internet? It's secure internet for you and your family.
It's keeping kids like us safe online.
It's everything you want it to be. Switch today at Spectrum.com.
It's hotter than a hound dog in a Nebraska heat wave.
I think we need help. I'm gonna just call Dave's.
Family-owned Dave's Heating and Air is Lincoln's heating and air experts. We install quality brine equipment and will do whatever it takes to make your home feel cool and crisp on a hot Nebraska day. Whether you need service, repairs, or a new system, the Dave's family is here for you.
Dave always saves the day.
Dave's Heating and Air, professional service you can trust.
For generations, Eustis Body Shop has been a part of Nebraska's story. A locally owned small-town business built on trust, craftsmanship, and community. From those early days in the shop to today with 8 Nebraska locations, including 3 right here in Lincoln, Eustis continues to grow generation after generation. Because around here, taking care of people is just who we are, including free loaner cars when you need one.
The most recommended Eustis Body Shop, that's who we are.
Next DT, Jamie Foxx talks baby number 3.
Here's the crazy part about it.
Plus, we're hitting all the high notes with Magnus Farrell.
At the end of the day, the music is who I am.
Weekdays at 6:30 after Channel 8 News at 6.
For the quality furniture you're looking for, make the drive to Beatrice and visit Sheer Quality Furniture, offering free delivery to Lincoln. High quality furniture at a great price. Sheer Furniture in Beatrice.
At Spectrum, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between speed, reliability, and value. That's why Spectrum fiber-powered internet gives you all 3 for just $40 a month. Call now or go online.
We're learning new details about that plane crash that killed 8 people in Northeast Philadelphia last year. The NTSB has released video, data, and photographs as it investigates what went wrong. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
Newly released video, images, and data giving us a closer look at what happened to this medical jet in Northeast Philadelphia when it crashed, killing 8 people in January of 2025. In this footage the NTSB gathered from neighbors' doorbell cameras, you can see the jet exploding into a fireball. Other clips show the crew doing pre-flight checks before the ambulance pulls up with the patient. The flight cleared for takeoff. Moments later, officials say the Learjet 55 climbed to about 1,600 feet, entered a left turn, then plunged toward the ground at nearly 10,000 feet per minute while accelerating to more than 275 miles per hour. Investigators say the aircraft was airborne for less than a minute. The plane was carrying an 11-year-old patient, her mother, 2 pilots, and 2 medical crew members on a flight home to Mexico. All of them killed, along with 2 others on the ground. More than 20 others were injured. The NTSB also releasing images of what was left after the crash. Among the materials are personal items recovered from the scene and pieces of the aircraft, too damaged to provide any info. Investigators also have said the cockpit voice recorder was not recording the flight and likely had not been functioning for years.
These newly released materials are part of the NTSB's ongoing investigation into what caused the aircraft to fall from the sky. Why it went down remains unclear. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro.
Well, several strong to severe storms that we're keeping track of here this afternoon with an isolated severe storm chance here the rest of the way in southeastern Nebraska. This isn't the only time we'll be talking storm chances this week either. Additional storms possibly here for your Thursday evening into early Friday, and again Friday night into early Saturday morning, while our temperatures then stay below average. But first here, I want to get to several severe thunderstorm warnings that we have in place across central Nebraska right now. The first of which, this broader warning here for Greeley, Howard, and Nance and Valley counties. This for us up to 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. But wanted to take a closer look at a specific section here in this storm. This is just to the north there of Walbach, Nebraska. This warning here in place until noon, where we've seen reports then of 80-plus-mile-an-hour wind gusts. In fact, we had separate reports there of 82 and 84-mile-an-hour wind gusts for sections of Greeley County here as this storm continues then to move to the south and east at about 35 to then 40 miles an hour. hour. So if you're in portions here of southwestern Greeley County, especially here towards Walbach, Nebraska, now is the time to make your way into that safe place of shelter. This is a destructive storm that's moving through our area. As we take a look then further then to the north and east of this specific storm here, we do have an additional severe thunderstorm warning in place for Boone County until noon as well for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So we've seen isolated pockets here of this storm that have been capable of severe weather so far, and that will continue over the next couple of hours. So it's going to be important then to stay severe weather aware. Here in the capital city, though, your Allen Communications camera fairly quiet here for the start of your Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures across the state ranging then from the 60s for those who have seen a little bit more rainfall and cloud cover, or excuse me, this morning, and the 70s here for southeastern Nebraska. Even a few spots here down into the 80s as you get out towards south central and southwestern sections of the state. But it's 75 here in Lincoln, 77 in Beatrice, 78 up in the Omaha Metro, 81 right now in Kearney. If we take a look then at Stormcast going forward, we expect this complex of showers and thunderstorms to continue moving then to the south and east, reaching us here in the capital city between 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then ultimately continuing to dive further south as we head into your Monday evening. Should be clear though for any Wednesday evening plans here, especially after dinner time tonight, and then we kind of enter a little bit of a lull as we head into Thursday morning, though there is the potential for a little bit of lower level cloud cover and fog to start the day off there, especially there in central portions of the state. And then we'll hold off on those storm chances until after dinner time on Thursday, where we could see a spot shower or thunderstorm, which could be on the strong to severe side. You almost have to be in the right place at the right time to see storms then for your Thursday night, but we will see better storm chances then heading into Friday. For the rest of your afternoon here, can't rule out an isolated tornado, large hail, or damaging winds in these light green area here. That's your marginal level 1 out of 5 risk for the eastern half of the state. The rest of your Wednesday, Thursday, that severe weather potential then shifting to central and northeastern Nebraska, where again 1 to 2 severe storms may be possible. Then as we take a look here to round out the work week, we'll be monitoring the potential for stronger to potentially severe storms here by late Friday into early Saturday morning, mainly for central portions of the state, and these will continue then to dive further to the south as we head into early Saturday. We already have a slight level 2 out of 5 risk in place, meaning scattered severe storms are possible. Highs today range then from the upper 70s to lower 80s for most of us. Best chance close to 90 there in southwestern Nebraska. We stay below average, though several chances for showers and thunderstorms as we head through the extended forecast. So we want to make sure we're staying up to date with those, and we'll do our best here to keep you prepared for those incoming storms.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Dominic. Coming up after the break, surprising revelations in the death investigation of Helen Panettiere. Find out who was with her in her final moments. A police report revealing her on and off again boyfriend who was with her, the man who her mother now describes as someone the family had been trying to get rid of. ABC's Faith Abube explains.
This morning, new details on the death of actress Hayden Panettiere. A police report obtained by ABC News shows the actress's on and off again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson, and his brother, Zach, were inside the Greenville, South Carolina apartment when police arrived.
Cardiac arrest. CPR is in progress.
Officials say the brothers called 911. Police reporting Zach was very emotional while EMS were working on Hayden, while Brian did not become emotional until EMS declared her officially deceased. According to the report, Brian also showed the officer the bag of medication Hayden is currently on. Officials say there were no signs of foul play, and a preliminary autopsy also found no signs of trauma. The couple had a troubled history, with Brian previously convicted of felony domestic violence. In her memoir, Panettiere wrote, "One night he bust up my face so badly, I don't leave the house for weeks." Panettiere had also spoken publicly about her strained relationship with her mother, Leslie Vogel, who managed her career as a child. Panettiere said she tried to separate their personal and professional relationship at 19.
I said to her, I don't want us to work together anymore. I just want you to be my mom. And I remember being hopeful, but there was that part of me who knew her too well. But I also wasn't expecting the reaction that I got, which was, "You owe me."
Vogel later pushed back on Hayden's account of their relationship, but confirmed they were no longer in contact. Now she's opening up about her daughter's death, saying, quote, "I think Hayden was an amazingly talented person," adding, "I just feel that she's with her brother and they're at peace." Faith Abube, ABC News.
Still ahead this midday, safety for victims, how a special LPD unit is protecting people impacted by domestic violence and abuse, and why there are new community concerns around safety.
Upgrading
from Nebraska's trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News Midday.
Right now, a sudden spike in abduction cases is sparking conversation in the Lincoln Police Department. 2 abductions in 4 days, no doubt frightening situations. Luckily, both of those cases ending up with victims getting home safe and the suspects being apprehended. But as the police department tells us, these cases could have turned out much differently if it wasn't for the help of the community. Our Skylar Sears speaking with authorities now about how common it is to have 2 cases happen in such a short time span, what police are doing in response.
Inside the Lincoln Police Department, the Victim Assistance Unit works with people experiencing domestic violence and other crimes. I was asked not to film the advocates inside their office because of the nature of their work. Beth McQueen, who manages the unit, says they've dealt with a number of serious domestic violence cases in recent years.
You know, in the last couple of years, we've had a lot of particularly domestic violence cases that have been fairly significant, with the homicides and the cases that you mentioned as well, but a number of cases that have been very concerning. You know, this is among all of the other types of crimes that we serve. This is one of them that's been at the forefront for the past couple of years now.
The 2 recent abduction investigations are among those cases, raising questions about what protections are in place when someone is at risk. Inside the unit, pamphlets and other information helps walk victims through some of the options available. That can include a no-contact order after an arrest, or a victim can ask for a protection order. McQueen says advocates work with each person to figure out what makes sense for their individual situation. That could include looking at safe places to stay. But even with protections in place, McQueen says there's no guarantee that will keep them safe 100% of the time.
They could ask for a protection order. None of those are automatic physical protections for that person. We still have to do some safety planning with them.
Thank you very much, Scott. And if you're just joining us, we are tracking the potential for severe weather later today. Here's a live look now at our ABC Seamless camera out there. Nothing too severe currently here in the capital city, though other spots around the state are dealing with some storms right now. Let's get on over to meteorologist Dominic Ferrero, who's tracking all of this here for us. Dominic, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Yeah, this line of showers and thunderstorms trying to make its way into southeastern Nebraska as we go through the rest of your Wednesday late morning here and into the afternoon. Wanted to take a look then at a couple of those warnings that we got in place. The first one here, the warning on your left for Greeley, Howard, Merrick, and Nance County. This is in place then until noon. Warned for up to 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. In fact, at 11:10 a.m., 6 miles to the north and northwest of Greeley, Nebraska, reports of an 82-mile-an-hour wind gust. We've also had reports then of an 84-mile-an-hour wind gust in southwestern Greeley County as well. That second warning there on your screen for Merrick, Nance, and Polk County, that in place until noon, where that segment of the storm then producing up to 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Columbus, Macy, kind of the backside of that storm. As this continues then to dive to the south and east, we do have that severe thunderstorm watch then in place until 4 o'clock here on your Wednesday afternoon. That does include several counties along the I-80 corridor, and for us here in Lancaster County, that includes the capital city of Lincoln under this watch then for the rest of the way here too. Now, we'll likely not get too much warmer then with this cloud cover and storms coming on through. Got our high temperatures today into the upper 70s. Good news is this should clear out though by about dinner time, and leaving us then with a fairly quiet end to your Wednesday, though more storm chances lingering in the future. We'll have more details on that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, another round of kids heading back to class already this morning in Crete. It's the kindergarten, 3rd, 6th, 9th grades all returning to the classroom. Then kindergarten through 6th grade at Lincoln Christian back to school this morning as well. Everyone will be back tomorrow. Channel 8 wishing all of them a happy first day. Developing now, the heated talk over flock cameras getting even hotter. Some communities around the country are reconsidering their contracts with Flock, the company behind more than 120,000 automatic license plate readers nationwide. Opponents cite breach of privacy while police tout it as helpful tool. A local law firm getting in on the discussion.
Now in Nebraska, luckily there is legislation that limits significantly when law enforcement can use automatic license plate reader systems like Flock cameras. They have to be for criminal purposes. There has to be an active investigation, and the use of the license plate reader system has to be to further that criminal investigation.
Yeah, Justin adds, if you're tied to anything involving a Flock camera, and he invites you to contact Liberty Law Group. Elsewhere in the country, a growing number of law enforcement officers are accused of inappropriately accessing these controversial Flock cameras. Here's ABC's Lana Moyes.
This morning, a police officer is behind bars and another is facing termination, both accused of misusing flock cameras, a system of more than 120,000 automatic license plate readers used by law enforcement nationwide. In Wisconsin, an officer was jailed for using the system for non-police purposes. And in Massachusetts, an officer is facing termination and possible charges for allegedly accessing information on someone unlawfully 5 different times. The cameras scan every plate that passes, logging it into a database police can search, no warrant needed. The Washington Post reports at least 50 officers around the country have been accused of using plate readers to, quote, spy on their wives, their girlfriends, and their exes.
This has gone national. This has gone without any kind of brakes on the system.
And some people are taking matters into their own hands. In Minneapolis, this man climbed a camera pole and disabled the technology, vowing to take down every flock camera. In Florida, a retiree spends his Saturdays in a lawn chair, holding a sign on a pole in front of the lens. And online, covers are being sold designed to slip right over the cameras. Amid the growing backlash, by the end of the year, Flock is requiring every department to turn on a tool that flags suspicious searches and automatically locks that officer out pending review.
We are finding bad cops and holding them accountable.
Flock also says it will delete data after 7 days instead of 30. Cities can also require a criminal case number for every search. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
New developments, Lincoln Fire and Rescue is receiving a top rating nationwide. They earned an Insurance Services Office Public Protection Classification Class 1 rating. Okay, that's a mouthful, but it is the highest distinction awarded to fire department nationwide. This marks the first time in the department's history to achieve this classification. Fire Chief Dave Engler says the achievement is the result of years of investment and support from the community. The classification program evaluates a community's ability to prevent, respond to, and mitigate fire emergencies. Also new developments, the city of Beatrice making improvements to their airport. Construction is underway on a 10-unit T hangar, and their next phase includes improvements to the surrounding hangar approaches and taxi lanes. The project is supported by the federal grant secured by Senator Deb Fisher that aims to expand the airport infrastructure to strengthen the airport's role as an economic driver for Beatrice. Only on 8, a beloved Seward restaurant is rebounding in a big way. It's making a comeback after being closed down for months. The owners describing what this past year has been like and their fight for a future in Seward. Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson reports.
How are you doing? On Tuesday night, the door opening to Squire Ward's for the first time in months. And Greg Nelson couldn't be happier.
This is awesome. You know, Squire Ward's is back.
Last November, I covered a devastating moment for Nelson. His bar and grill was forced to close after the building was bought by new owners.
We talked about just maybe leaving it closed and going on the road for a while and decided that's not quite what we wanted to do.
But then a new spot opening up just a block away from their old place, and this one right on Main Street. Nelson moving walls full of decorations a few doors down to this place. And now, what was a tough moment has turned into a beautiful one.
They say things happen for a reason, and this place just might be the proof. We ended up with a much nicer location than we had before. It's a better space. It's about 3 times the size.
On Tuesday night, he held a soft opening for friends and family, giving the new employees a chance to learn the ropes before their official opening on Thursday night.
Did anybody take this young couple's order? Judging from the crowd that's here, our staff now knows how to make martinis pretty well, so that's a great start.
Drinks served to grinning customers who were able to see an old beloved bar and grill returned to its former glory. Nelson says this moment is only possible because the people of Seward helped him persevere.
100%. It's wonderful to be back in here, and just the support from the community's been amazing.
Reporting in Seward, Mackenzie Johnson, Channel 8 News.
Coming up after the break, fun states where Nebraska falls in a new ranking judging states by how much fun they offer. who's our little friend here?
Yes, today we have Benjamin. Benjamin is a 10-week-old neutered male kitten who was found as a lost cat and came into the shelter. He's currently about 3 pounds. He's an orange tabby with some white, but being 10 weeks old, he'll grow up to be a big boy and gain some weight, but he is ready to find his home today.
Yes, very sweet, very soft as well. Very curious, you can see there.
He is, but very, very sweet.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of cats in the shelter. It's just kind of that time of year, isn't it?
Yes, we have quite a few cats, a lot of older cats that have kind of been long-termers, and cat adoptions have just been a little slower. Today we had about 25 cats that are available for adoption, but we unfortunately just don't have any room at the Pylog Pet Adoption Center. You must be tired.
Yes, same here, buddy.
Yeah, so we have quite a few cats that are waiting to go over. We just don't have room at the adoption center for them yet, but ready to go.
A good opportunity this weekend, correct?
Yes, so this weekend on Saturday is our Clear the Shelters event. Able Foundation and NEBCO will be sponsoring adoption fees. License fees and rabies will still apply, but all cats and kittens, dogs, puppies, adoption fees are sponsored, and so a great time to come out if you've been looking or thinking about adopting. Like I said, we have lots of pets, lots of long-termers. We have Nipsey, who was here during our UBT event and never got or hasn't been adopted yet, and so Nipsey will be available, but it's a fun day, and hopefully a lot of animals find their homes.
When you have those long-term animals, how do you kind of keep their spirits up?
Yeah, we try and, we have a lot of volunteers and staff that work with them. Camp Bow Wow has been wonderful, so we'll have dogs at Camp Bow Wow as well, and they get to do play groups every day and hang out with everyone out there as well. Staff is wonderful about taking them out and doing some field trips, so they'll go shopping at PetSmart or go to the lake. But yeah, we do what we can in the shelter, but we always want to try and find their home.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Anything you guys really need right now, aside of people to adopt?
Dry dog and cat food for the Paws Pet Pantry is what we are kind of needing right now. And so we have a lot of people out there that we're trying to help, and that's something we kind of tend to run low on. And I forgot to mention, but we will be closed Sunday to recuperate from Clear the Shelters.
Yes, I'm sure that takes a lot of reorganization there. All right, well, Benjamin right now is up for adoption along with several more cats and kittens, dogs, everything else in between this Saturday.
Yes.
Again, what's the time frame for that event?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna get this wrong. I believe it's 11 to 7, but double check our website because it slipped my mind.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Nadia, for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can you say goodbye? Bye, Benjamin.
Say bye.
Bye. All right, we'll be right back. Everyone, stay with us. 4-part nature documentary series that tells the true story of family, courage, and coming of age. It focuses on a lion cub who may become a lion king. Here's ABC's George Pinocchio.
Keo is 3 months old.
Lion takes viewers on a journey involving that little cub and his family. This 4-part docuseries is being touted as groundbreaking natural history filmmaking.
Do you know what it is? It's being allowed to have 4 years to follow one pride of lions and to give complete control to them. They wrote the script. We just were there to capture it.
Under the midday sun, it's time for shade and rest.
Time is money, and this crew shot for around 1,400 days, the most time ever spent following a single pride. It took that time to capture these lions in good times, challenging times, and sad times, while focusing in on the cub named Keo, their future Lion King.
And it takes a lot of nerve because this is a tricky project. It's a risky project. You understand that life does have its ups and downs, but in the end, as long as you try and move on, you will succeed, and this amazing lion does.
The challenges they face together will make their connections grow stronger.
Jon Favreau, who directed the live-action version of The Lion King, is an executive producer on Lion.
You have to go where your curiosity draws you, and then Mike came to me and said, there's an opportunity here to do something unprecedented, which is following a pride of lions. He was saying, if we could embed for 4 years, we could tell a story with a scope that's never been told before.
Nothing matches the joy of reunion.
There are no people in it. This is absolutely all about one lion family. But what it is a story of heart and a drama, and one for the whole family.
You can see Lion Wednesday on Nat Geo and Thursday on Disney Plus and Hulu. In Los Angeles, George Pinocchio for ABC News.
And before we go to break, here's a live look outside at our Barry Law Tower camera. We're going to have a final check of the forecast coming up next.